She says she's okay. I don't believe her. There's just something about the way she turned her back on me. I know in my mind I'll never leave her. There's just something about the way we love each other right. And even though we fight all night and day, I know sometimes in love there can be pain. And even though we need a little break, I know that you'll come back to me. You know that I'll come back to you. 'Cause that's when you'll start to feel my love. Feel it. That's when you feel it. That's when you'll start to feel my love. Feel it. That's when you feel it.
Usiponipenda nitapendwa na nani? Nitakuwa mgeni wa nani? Ukiwa mbali nami nabaki tabani. Ona nahisi kisirani hawa haina maana. Mimi na wewe kuzozana, mbona tunasimangana? Hatuwezi semezana my love, haina maana. Mimi na wewe kuzozana, mbona tunasimangana? Hatuwezi semezana. And even though we fight all night and day, I know sometimes in love there can be pain. And even though we need a break, I know that you come back to me. And you know that I'll come back to you. That's when you start to feel my love. Feel it. That's when you feel it. That's when you start to feel my love. Feel it. That's when you feel it.
And even if we fight all night and day, I know sometimes in love there can be pain. And even if we need a little break, I know that you come back to me. You know that I'll come back to you. And that's when you start to feel my love.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
It's your girl STL. You know how we do. We make it sticky like glue. Michelle singing. Oh. Another song, babe, now they all know me. And magazines can write all kinds of bullshit, but let me tell you this, SDL will always do this. Lift your hands, swing them around like $1,000,000. Make sure everybody here know what's up. It's been a while now, finally I'm coming home. We the perfect beat, go ahead and shake it off. Yes, she my girl. holding with a good grip. I rap to get close to everything I'm chasing. Do all that rants, history I'm making. Some call it good work, some call it time wasting. Some wish me good luck, but some will love to see me fade. But on my way back home, I don't wanna stress. I just wanna lay down, watch the sunset. Hang around with my cousins, we be chillin', man. Turn the volume up on this, we be cruising, man. STL, baby, knew this time would come. That I would take this back to where I'm from. Throw your fist in the air if you feel this. People here show love, cause this the place.
Heshima kwa huyu dada, jamani ametoka far. Tunawakilisha, yeah, we're taking it back, just taking it back. From this beat we on fire. STL Michelle, tunawakilisha, yeah, we're taking it back, just taking it back. Unahisi hii ngoma
From
vinoma,
the shacks to the city, let me see you if you really with it.
unahisi hii ngoma
No
vinoma,
matter young or grown, get your groove on, go and get with it.
unahisi hii ngoma vinoma,
Saint J, unahisi hii ngoma vinoma.
unahisi hii ngoma
Yo,
vinoma.
I give you who I am, applaud to this one, thank you.
Heshima kwa huyu dada, jamani ametoka far. Tunawakilisha, yeah, we're taking it back, just taking it back. From this beat we on fire. STL Michelle, tunawakilisha, yeah, we're taking it back, just taking it back. Heshima kwa huyu dada, jamani ametoka far. Tunawakilisha, yeah, we're taking it back, just taking it back. From this beat we on fire. STL Michelle, tunawakilisha, yeah, we're taking it back, just taking it back.
It's the girl, it's the app. You all rolling.
Heshima kwa huyu dada, jamani ametoka far.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet again another amazing episode of the Pawa Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike, and we do this all the way till 10 in the a.m. Those are 2 hours of your time, and yes, you will never get them back. But guess what? You're going to have an amazing time together. Right, you're just in time for a very amazing show. Now, let me tell you what to expect on today's show. We are going to be talking about fostering civic education and public participation. And who else to have this conversation but the people that are actually championing the work of civic education in the country. And they have been quite at it for the longest time now. I think 20 years or 25 years, actually 25 years, if I am not wrong. I'm talking about none other than Uraia Trust. And we have the head of programs, Mr. Aloyce Moyi. He's going to be joining us in just a moment as we get to talk about some of the work that they have been doing at Uraia Trust. And of course, we are part of their partners as Power 254, implementing a project known as the Rights, Inclusion and Transparency for Accountable Institutions, or shortly known as RITAI. And so we will get into the inner workings of that project and what it portends for the civic education in Kenya. So that conversation coming up, but you know how we do it here. Of course, we'll start off with looking at the situation on the roads of our city this morning. We need to get you to work before the rain cuts you into traffic and then you do not know where to head out from there. Then we will look at some of the stories that are making headlines this morning on the daily, so that on the lineup. But for now, let me get you knowing about what's happening on our situation on our roads this morning. And we start off with the Thika Superhighway, which is not looking too shabby. We just have a little bit of some traffic slowdown as you make your way from the Outer Ring Road, the whole area towards the Naivas Supermarket, just around the Roasters area. Things are looking very, very busy on that end. We also have same situation also happening along Kiambu Road from the DCI area down towards Muthaiga Square. A little bit of a snarl up there. let me see what's happening along Limuru Road. The same situation also happening from Village Market as you make your way towards the Karura area. Peponi Road, nothing much to complain about. You guys are looking a-okay this morning. James Gishuru Road is also not looking too shabby. I can see that it's slowly moving, but surely. Wanyoike Way is as clear as it can get. We also have Ngong Road looking very clear this morning. Nothing much to complain about on your end this morning. Let me see what's happening along Langata Road. We only have just a little bit of a snarl up as you make your way from the Uhuru Gardens area towards the Dam Estate, but soon after that things start moving quite easily. Raila Odinga Road, a little bit of a snarl up from the T-Mall roundabout all the way towards the Mbagathi Hospital area, and then things are looking a-okay on that end. Mombasa Road from Capital Center, making your way towards the Nairobi West Hospital area, all the way towards Bunyala Road. Things are looking quite chaotic this morning, so you should be warned about the situation happening on that area. We also have the same situation happening along from the Nyayo Estate, Embakasi, Feather, that entire stretch as you make your way towards the Cabanas bus station. Things are very tight on that area. Jogoo Road as well, looking very busy as you make your way towards the Gikomba market, so please be warned about that situation happening there. But in case where you are and I haven't mentioned it, please let us know. The hashtag to use is hashtag Pawa Morning Drive. Let me know in case of any incidents that you would like us to know about. For now, let's jump into some music and we come back and look at what has been making headlines in the 254. See you in just a moment.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Niko na visa, niko kwa simu na nasikia bashi meshika. Je, kuna madem, kuna maniga, maodine wamekuja kuchachisha. Sitaki picha kubabae, sitaki vita, nashikisha na mavela mabichwa, na tukishikwa joma bel Mona Lisa. Tutoke BND, twende BNB, niko DND, usijam, I will be RB, I will be RB.
Mihadarati zishaanza kunidanganya hadi najishuku sana, zimenichanganya napenda vitu si ufanya vile inafaa. Erobog na matin. Kikomando kiritala jumi niko na mado, wenye vipindi na musonge kando, esima tu sama boso chopo, chololo chololo. Nobody can party like we do. Omoke girumba ko kwarawe blues, kinena kalingi kipani ya sim. Meditation yaka bedni soya design bololo, anebo che bololo. So please no okadwa jo machendo oh bololo, anebo che bololo. So please no okadwa jo machendo oh. Mihadara zishaanza kunidanganya hadi najishuku sana, zimenichanganya napenda vitu si ufanya.
Mihadarati zishaanza kunidanganya hadi najishuku sana simelimbu Maximus. Hey, and na. Hold on, yeah. Hold on. Mutoto ya Pamela. I'll be right back. Tell him I'll be woo.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Oga onyamarie, oga onjurage koro, oga ondige taitare na kene ye. Oga guwathi, oga umerie detoro, oga ondige taitare na kene.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, welcome back. That is No by Irosh and Muringi. Oh my goodness. It's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive show. My name is Anne Wanyoike, and of course, you know where you can get us. You can get us on all platforms. We are Power Radio across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Find us there. Please engage with us. It's always good to hear from you. You can also watch this live on YouTube, and if you've not yet subscribed, kindly go to YouTube, look or search for Power Radio. That is PAWA Radio. Subscribe, hit on that notification bell so that whenever we have anything good coming from this side, you definitely will be the first to know. You can also find us on our website www.power254.org/Power Radio. Na watu wa kutuma salams pia, we've not forgotten you. You can text in live or call us through our line, that is 0748 379 231. Again, 0748 379 231. It would be lovely to hear from you. Now, as promised, let me look at some of the things that are making headlines, or some of the news rather, that are making headlines in our papers today. And we start off with the Daily Nation. And some of the stories that they are leading with, just a quick run through, is trouble in Ruto ODM union. In what signals a dramatic implosion in the broad-based government, ODM has threatened to walk out of the arrangement unless President Ruto, in a powerful cabal, accused of coercing its MPs to join UDA and warning cabinet secretaries against associating with the orange outfit. And I'll read something that Jonette Mohammed, according to the Daily Nation, has captured this, said, he's the National Assembly minority leader, that we are not in this union by mistake or by invitation. Rather, we joined to foster unity, and if this agenda is no longer needed, we should be told, because we don't lack options. If they feel they are now on a safer ground, we can let them form their own government in 2027. Yet again, another day in Kenyan politics, where we have factions or I would call them contracts of agreement that are based on, I guess, convenience, because I guess that's how politics run. It's the order of the day in Kenyan politics. Am I surprised by this move? Absolutely not. Will it keep happening? I keep saying yes, it will happen, because one, you have to realize that ahead of the 2027 election, there's going to be a lot of rearranging, a lot of things, a lot of political unions coming together to form like a powerful bloc. We will also see the continuous disintegration or the dismantling of other factions, political factions for sure. All this for the sake of one thing, which is power capture. And I think it's good that we know that political parties, whether they come together or whether they dismantle, the main agenda is usually state capture, or capturing the power of the state, right? So by this, I only think that I'm not so sure that it causes any alarm. If you were to ask me, I just think that it's how Kenyan politics play out. But the only thing that I can say about the ODM party and like what might be some sort of new rearrangements, perhaps, because of the ODM party and what it has been through since the passing of the late Honorable Raila Odinga. They are still figuring out their transition. So they're in the middle of a political realignment, right? The shifts that are happening in-house as a party, which might have caused some sort of destabilization. And so by us seeing the political outfit that the Daily Nation is talking about, where there seems to be like a disorientation within the UDA and the ODM union politically, I think that it's one of those things where if you are if you are like a political strategist right now and you are asked a question like, so if what do you think for example, the ODM party should do in case they want to continue being very influential? Because as you know, the ODM party is a very influential party, and I keep saying I've never seen any party that is that has captured the masses quite as the ODM party has captured it right now. So anyway, if you were to ask me if I was a political strategist, which by no means am I even interested in getting that. I think the ODM party should first figure out, okay, what are the next steps internally before they start getting into like coalitions and stuff like that, because even internally they are still in the mess of transitioning and figuring out their footing in the political landscape of the country, so but anyway, what do you think do you think that this ODM UDA union is going to last? If so, why? If not so, why? Please let us know. Again, you know where to get us, all those social media platforms that I just mentioned across our platforms. Right. We also have a story here on Aviator, the gaming craze pushing addicts to the brink. Aviator, which you might know, is a betting platform, a crash-style betting game where players try to cash out before a virtual plane flies away, is plunging gamers into debt, depression, and even divorce. And I remember I hosted Mr. Stephen Giro, who has a whole foundation or organization that he runs that is based in Kawangware mostly, and he founded it for the sake of this, curbing betting in the country. And he said that there's so many vices that continue befalling the community, especially the communities that he serves, just because of betting, right? I know there has been a lot of talk about regulation of this betting companies because when we have a society like now getting even into the extent of debt because of the promise or because of a promise of a better life that can maybe just once you hit the jackpot like this, there's a promise of something that can come instantaneously without necessarily telling the people the dangers that also leads you to. So when we look at how the business model of betting companies are set up, I do think that there has to be an active pursuit from the government and its agencies to ensure that there is regulation so that it's done in a more responsible way that does not necessarily implicate on the people that are betting. And to be honest, it's quite sad that somebody might end up getting into debt so that they can stay afloat in a game because why? There is a promise of a better future, which also leads us to something else, that the country, we are in this state. Why? Because if, for example, we had enough jobs, or if, for example, the economic situation in the country was favorable, then young people would be very busy building the nation and getting to do what like being active in the labor market as well. So there's also it looks like it's just betting and young people, you should stop betting, but what the real issues that are undercurrents, underlying this challenge of betting in the country is because in the first place, we should have a country that has systems like job creation or employment opportunities, or if it's business, make sure that there is a conducive environment for businesses and young startups, SMEs and MSMEs and SMEs at large to kind of create a place where economically, especially young people, can be able to sustain their livelihood. So it's a conversation that has to happen, and I don't know whether we have anything tangible that has come from it, but from policy frameworks to regulation policies. I think this is something that needs to happen ASAP. Then we also have a story on Kindiki offices, 153 million Kenya shillings in 75 days, choppers bill. Wow. So yeah, that the bill of Kindiki, who is the deputy president, has built to 153 million, and this is just in 75 days. That's what, give or take 2 months and some days on top of that. I don't know in which country this ever makes sense, right? And the other day, I think we saw that the budget of State House has doubled, right? It has risen. Then what I remember Kenyans mostly being mad about and angry about is that on that paper, I think it was the Daily Nation still, just kind of contrasting what the one side of things or one side of life is. On one side, we had that the State House budget had doubled. Then we also had below that the story about Kenyatta National Hospital. Somebody had to die because there was no facilities for, I think, the cancer ward or something like that. And we, again, it's usually very disappointing, to say the very least, to continue seeing such conversations happening in, out, left, right, center, where it's like we almost forgot where our resources should be channeled towards, right? Like, I really like hearing the stories of countries like Japan or the Netherlands. I also think Denmark, where politicians are not superstars like the way they are here in Kenya. I keep saying that politicians are our real celebrities. They live a life that some of us can only aspire to. But beyond that, 153 million Kenya shillings really does not make sense to me. You can't use all that money in 75 days or less, because even if you used 1 million per day, you still would have a lot of money to spend within that time. So again, it's another conversation that should get us asking ourselves about the prioritization of where our resources should be channeled to. But I'm so glad that we have a conversation today with Mr. Aloyce Moyi, who is going to tell us about, the PFM, that's the Public Finance Management Cycle, and when it comes to citizens holding the duty bearers accountable, like where do we go to ensure that we know where these public monies are going? So we will get in depth into that discussion when we get into our conversation today. And then quickly, the Business Daily, some of the stories making headlines is Treasury raises domestic borrowing target by 570 billion. We also have a story about Kenya Airways bailout era under threat from global competition rules. And lastly, farms drain 1 trillion Kenya shillings from Kenya through foreign tender deals. That and so many other stories, please do grab your copies of the dailies and ensure that you are in the know of what is happening in the country. And that leads us to the end of our local news roundup. When we come back, we get into our conversation. I had touched on it earlier, but today we are going to be looking at fostering civic education and public participation. What does that entail? And we have Mr. Aloyce Moyi from Uraia Trust, and they are the premier civic education organization at this point. They've been at it for 25 years. So we are going to look at some of the strides that Uraia Trust has made in the space, and then moving forward, how do we ensure that we have instituted mechanisms for effective civic education, and how can you as a citizen participate in ensuring that you are collaborating in the democracy and governance processes as you should be able to plug into that. So that conversation coming up next. If you have any questions, please start sending them in. Again, the social media handles, we are Power Radio across all socials, and we will be sure to answer some of your questions. But for now, let's jump into some music. We'll be right back and get into our conversation of today. Keep it here.
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right here on your only station, Power Radio.
Yeah. Exponential potential. Wali to the row. Who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Wana drown kwa machozi zao. Tunaogelea kwa jasho zetu. Who's laughing now? Milioni from 10 bob. Nilitoa wapi extra zeros? Jiulize mbona donati na shimo. Shingo shortcut ya mfuko. Doni legal. Dish kwa rooftop. Sia DSTV ya kuomba dish. Distinct. Vampire vegetarian. Whiteheads. 9 believers. Wana Twitter high class. Soma college ya nightclub. Result slip. I determine pay slip. Toka niwe fitas, baka panya nimefika. God's finger, ima move strings. Wali to the row. Who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Wana drown kwa machozi zao. Tunaogelea kwa jasho zetu. Who's laughing now? Nasema who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Achana na toka kitambo nimekuwa photogenic. Wazazi wali insist na story ya photosynthesis. Nani hajui udaktari si lazima uwe mrefu. Kwa karatasi ya dawa malizange hesabu. Okapo wana need more ink, more pages. Jina zifit kwa list. Si exaggerate kakufunika pancha na bandage. Ndova yezi hata ngumi ya mosquito. Misi mu important. Bila mimi mama mboga hata ana customer. Ngumu kwangu kizungu fluent, but huwezi command umati na influence. Wali to the row. Who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Wana drown kwa machozi zao. Tunaogelea kwa jasho zetu. Who's laughing now? Nasema who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Achana na kuku yangu inalia ina swine flu. Iliponiona nikinoa kisu. Nilikaribisha ili assume ni pet seafood. Homa inafunika nostrils. Coincidentally anapika seafood. Akidhani sinusia harufu. Uchoyo hainanga karibu. Msoto ikinokto. Niko like you look familiar. We met before. Kuku ina I don't eat a kenchik. Ni death bending. Hard work to get the best out of life. Get safe, get the best out of death. Wali to the row. Who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Wana drown kwa machozi zao. Tunaogelea kwa jasho zetu. Who's laughing now? Nasema who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Achana now. Wana drown kwa machozi zao. Tunaogelea kwa jasho zetu. Who's laughing now? Nasema who's laughing now? Exponential potential. Achana now.
Yani kakaliet medore. Sudeka mama. Ahero kakako kigwarore. Yani kakaliet bedore. Sudeka, mama. Ahero kakako is beautiful feeling. Napenda vile nimezama walai niko deep end. Oh Lord, sita pretend. Cause every time we making love, the morning till the PM. Your tender kisses kichako na dedi. Oh, kendo sami denda ni papi chulo. Oh, mayo. Koki kweda with all these positions. Sheesh. Me until I can't no more. And now we're getting closer. Your eyes are getting broader. And Anambia, baby, don't stop. Cause she wanna write your tell her all night. Sudeka, yani kakaliet medore. Sudeka, ahero kakakoki guarore. Sudeka, yani kakaliet medore. Sudeka, ahero
watu tunakandana, kisha baadaye tunakandana. Hatuna story, hatudai namba, maneno yanaleta lawama. And you know that I like it. And I know how you want it. If you like, baby, I'll describe it. Paint a picture for you, let you own it. I lick the cream, I love my topping. Say a prayer before I dive in. Drink sweet water from your fountain. I know you love it like that. And now we're getting closer. Your eyes are getting broader. And Anyambia, baby, don't stop. Cause she wanna ride and want me all night. Sudeka, mama.
yani kakaliet medore. Sudeka, mama. Ahero kakakoki guarore. Sudeka, mama. Yani kakaliet medore. Sudeka, mama. Ahero kakakoki guarore.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
I wish.
Just a little bit, yeah.
The money make me fly like a kite. I wish the money make me fly like a kite. I wish the money make me fly like a kite. I wish the money make me fly like a kite.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Fresh from the fire, fresh like the sea. Bora uhai, c'est la vie. All of these roads lead you to me. Make me spend all my money for peace and quiet mystery. Forbidden fruit is out of reach. I've got a hunch, a certainty. You make me spend all my money. Of the dice, a slap on the cheek, the thrill of the chase ends in defeat. If we are survivors, then we try harder. Most of my life I've been asleep. Who will I hold? Who will I keep? All of this talk is way too deep. I need to spend all my money.
Just a little bit,
fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite. I wish that money make me fly like a kite.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are just in time for our conversation this morning. But before that was "Spend My Money" by Tetu Shani. It's playing right here on Power Radio. This is the Power Morning Drive show. I'm your host, Anne Wanyoike. Now, I'm really excited to have this conversation. We've been planning this for a very long time, but finally we have gotten the opportunity to get into our conversation today. Today, I am joined by the head of programs at Uraia Trust. The Uraia Trust? Yes, the one and only. And if you've never heard about Uraia Trust, don't you worry, you're just in good luck, because he's going to be letting you know about some of the amazing work that they have been doing that has spanned 25 years now in the making. Mr. Aloyce Moyi joins us on the Power Morning Drive show this morning. It's really good to have you here with us, sir. Karibu sana Power Radio. Salimia watu.
Thank you very much, Anne.
Yes.
And thank you, Power. I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
This good morning when we are going to engage on issue of participation, issue of inclusion, and also looking at civic education issue. So it's a good time. Let's engage.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, as I've just mentioned there, Uraia Trust has been at this game for now 25 years, give or take. And so for maybe somebody to just lay the foundation of our conversation, for someone who might have not known what Uraia Trust does or who you guys are all about, maybe tell us a little bit about the work that you do at the organization.
So thank you very much.
Yes.
So Uraia Trust is a people's organization. So it's a national premier organization which mainly deals with the issue of civic education. So we are heavy on civic education. And when we talk about civic education, we want people to get information, know their rights, know their roles. And if you look at the journey of Uraia, we started with the issue of the slogan, which was talking about rights, my rights, haki yetu. I think all of us can remember that slogan, haki yetu. And when we talk about haki yetu, then we moved from haki yetu to rights and responsibility. How do I also ensure that I have information, but also as a Kenyan, I have my responsibility. When we look at the Constitution, it talks about the sovereignty of the people. And for you to practice your sovereign rights, there is also responsibility as a Kenyan, which you have also to undertake as a Kenyan. So Uraia undertakes civic education so that Kenyans understands various information, looking at issue of democracy, looking at issue of governance, looking at issue of service delivery, looking at issue of public participation, and all governance issues, so that are able to engage in governance processes and ensure that they are able to realize their constitutional aspiration. So our role, the call is for us to understand our rights, to understand our constitution, to be aware, but not just to be aware. So what do I do with the knowledge? So that is the second phase, which Uraia is looking at, the public participation or civic engagement. After I have understood or got the information, I know my rights, I know my responsibility. How do I engage in governance processes, service delivery, holding our leaders accountable, but also playing my role as a citizen? So Uraia is that national organization which work with citizens to ensure that they get information, but also they engage in public participation on various issues. But also from other side, how do we also engage with the duty bearers or the government agencies, since we are the ones who formed this government? When we talk about the Constitution, it's the one which construct the government. So as a people, we talk about sovereignty of the people. We gave us the Constitution. Then we set these government agencies, the executive, the judiciary, and the parliament, so that they can engage. So how do we engage with the government because we have given them that responsibility. But as a citizens, we have given that that power to the relevant authority or the relevant institution. But me, how can I now practice my governance directly, the democracy directly? That will be through monitoring these people that we have elected, monitoring the agencies or the department, and also the arms of the government so that they are able to deliver the services, they are able to deliver development in the way which are spelled in our law. So Uraia engages with citizens, create awareness, and also facilitate that engagement so that we are able to realize our constitutional aspirations as Kenyan. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Right. You've touched on so many things, and I know we will continuously unpack them. But just right off the bat, right? Civic education or civic engagement. For someone who doesn't know what that is, what when you think about the idea of civic education and engagement, what does it entail? What does it mean? And what is it all about? Yeah.
So civic education involves putting information in a simple way and also in accessible manner where the citizens are able to access that information and also to understand its information. So first, the civic education is that way of ensuring that citizens, all the demography, the youth, the women, the people with disability are able first to access the information on governance issues. If it is on election, it's on public budget, it's on human rights and all other democratic issues. How do we simplify this information so that people are able to understand? So if we talk about Uraia, we have the constitution, we have given ourselves the constitution, and we have that big document. So how do we simplify the chapters of the constitution so that citizens, even a woman who didn't go to school and is doing business in a market, doesn't even know English, how do we simplify that information so that that woman is able to understand that information? So that is where civic education comes in, simplifying this information, putting it in accessible manner, and then delivering it to the citizens so that they are able to understand it. And when we look at this, when we talk about Uraia, we have various avenues how we do this. So we have simplified civic education material. We call them civic education materials. We can have curriculums. We can have simple brochures. We can have posters. And then for those who are able to read, then they can read these posters. And we have now even the youth. They can be in the social media. They can be on other online channels and also on physical. But also we look at people who are not able to read. This is where I'm talking about demography of our country. A woman who is not able to read. Can we have a forum in a market and then we have discussion, if it is on constitution, using that simplified materials and simplified information, including in local language, so that these people are able to understand. So when we do this as Uraia, we only have a small office in Nairobi, but we work with civic educators. We call them civic educators who are in all the constituency in the country. And we find the civic educators come from those constituencies and they even understand local language. So after stepping down this material into simple language, then they're the ones who now engage with people, including using local language so that people can understand the content of the constitution, people can understand about their rights. If it is during the budget making period, it has been simplified that people are able to understand about the budget and they're able to engage in the budget forums and all the other. So simplifying this information and then using all this avenue. Like now what we are doing in Power, I think Power Radio, we appreciate that, so that people are able to get this information. The people you reach, you simplify this information, then people are able to get this. So the importance of civic education is to ensure that the analytical capacity of the citizen is built because they now have that knowledge and information and they're able to engage in these governance processes. If there is a policy or a law being developed in the county assembly, and they are talking about an issue, maybe they want a project, they now understand that they can organize themselves as a community and they can engage with the county department or the county assembly committee, which is doing public participation from the informed perspective. If we look currently, we are going through mass voter registration also. How do we step this information and make it simple so that people are able to understand where do they register? What is required for them to register? Where can they register? And then we'll see people will be able to register and then they are able to be voters in Kenya. So civic education is very important. It builds knowledge of the citizen so that they're able to engage in the governance processes, they're able to engage in development, and also is important because they are now able to get information and able to hold their leaders accountable so that they're able to realize their constitution aspiration and also development. But at Uraia, we move further than civic education, because if you have information but you don't engage or you don't use that information to participate in governance processes or to engage in issues affecting you with the duty bearers and all the other, even in your community itself, then it's useless. So information is only useless, is only important, and is only good when you now practice. And this is where we come to civic action or public participation. So that's the second phase. So if I get the information about maybe budget, it's the budgeting process, like now we are making the budget. Am I able to organize now as citizens? If you are women in a market, if you are boda group, we have issues. We want boda shed to be constructed. Do we engage and ensure that we develop something like a memorandum and send it to our county assembly committee for budget so that it is part of planning when that is taking place? Our women's group wants light or security light in their market. Are we able to organize when the budgeting process is starting so that we develop a memorandum, send to our county assembly so that it's included in the budget? The same, like now you are doing voter registration. Am I able to get information, go and register? And also others who have already registered, go and verify the voting, my status, so that I know that I'm in the register, so that I'll be able to participate when the election comes. So these things move together, but for effective participation to be there has to be civic education and awareness so that citizens understand these things, then they engage from an informed perspective.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And, when we talk about, there's so many, okay, so the first things first to kind of understand it, as Power 254, we are part of the, implementing partners of a continuing project dubbed the RETIE project, which is rights, inclusion, and transparency for accountable institutions, right? So the importance of leveraging strategic partnerships like the one that we have with the RETIE project. Why is it so important for us? Because we are talking about fostering an ecosystem where civic education goes far and wide, right? So how do we go about institutionalizing such projects beyond even, for example, the RETIE project I know has been in the making for 3 years now, but beyond the end of the project, there has to be maybe sustainability mechanisms where we go about thinking, okay, how do we then institutionalize such projects so that conversations on civic education, conversations on public participation are continuing even in the grassroots level. So how do we go about that?
So thank you for that. So civic education can't be done successfully by one organization. And this is where you're coming from. And this is the area, as civil society across the country, we have to build a strong ecosystem for civic education and also facilitating public participation. So I'm looking like the type project where we have a consortium. We are working with Power 245, which is working in various county, 254,
Yes,
sorry,
it's okay.
which working in various counties. Then we have Haki Yetu. Then we have Friends of Lake Turkana. We have partners in Kisumu, and we have partners in Mombasa and all the other. So this civic education ecosystem is very important, and we need to build it together. So we have to collaborate, not to compete. How do we collaborate as partners? Even all the other civil society organizations who are doing civic education work and also facilitating public participation. How do we come together, share information, learn, pool resources together, and also build synergy so that we are able to deliver civic education? Because the information is the same. If you want to talk about election, all of us want free, fair, and credible election and want citizens to participate. If you want about talking about service delivery, like we are talking in the Retire project, we want that accountability from the duty bearers so that they're able to deliver effective health service, they're able to deliver effective education services, we are able to have clean streets and all the other. So as organization and I'm doing this, how do we come together and strengthen this? So as Uraia, we encourage this partnership where we support partners, but also we encourage partners. How do we go beyond the national level? So if the partners are at the national level, how can these partners also go and further build we call intra-network, where you now work also with community groups. That's how we can build civic education. So if Pawa is working in Nakuru, there are already formed community groups in Nakuru, which have been formed by citizens. How do we capacity build this group, share the information the way we were talking about, the simplified information with those groups? Then the groups are now the ones who are able to reach citizens directly in the markets, in churches. So because you'll find some group are formed under church, some are formed the learning institution, some are CBO. So how do we build this ecosystem where we come all of us together, the organization at the national level, the organization at the county level, and then we have a strong ecosystem that delivers civic education. So Retire Project, I think, is one of that. And we have been able to focus on these issues and strengthen issues like access to information. We are talking about the access to information. And if we build that system where we have many organizations across the country where do civic education, then we'll reach many people. So if we look like an organization like Power, they are targeting the youth demographic, and they have various strategies, the use of art. So you'll find Power will have more advantage in that, and they'll be able to reach citizens through art, activism, and then provide civic education and also encourage public participation. This will also support our artists and build their strategy and strength to have edutainment and build on the civic education. We have other organizations which are strong on use of social media. I think Power is also doing that. And if we partner, those organizations will use social media, they'll be able to provide information, they'll be able to provide those platforms, even simple platform like X, where citizens, the youth, are able to engage in governance issues and also bring in duty bearers to engage. We have others who are strong in undertaking forums at the community level. So you'll find if we build this a strong ecosystem for civic education, which Uraia has a lot to do, then we'll have that big platform in Kenya where we'll be able to reach the citizen across Kenya. But also we should not forget the duty bearers. How do we also reach the government departments? How do we also reach the duty bearers on these issues, and then we engage in a constructive way and deliver civic education and also promote public participation.
Right. There has been a lot of speak about innovating the way that we approach civic education. Whilst maybe 10 years ago, documents and your usual traditional methods would have been applicable and effective, we are now in a new generation. For example, the Gen Z and Gen Alpha. a lot of their time is spent on digital platforms. So, in what ways is Uraya Trust innovating the way that civic education is done, specifically leveraging the use of digital tools to ensure that we move even into digital governance and digital democratic building for the sake of the new generation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the civic education landscape is really changing a lot. If we look at the changes which are happening there, we have the Gen Zs, and how do we reach them effectively? And that's what now call for innovation and creativity on how we deliver civic education. You know, in the past, we were used to issue of developing big booklets, we call them curriculum, training guides, and all the others. Nowadays, no one reads those ones. We were used to only using radio, holding forums, and all the other things. So I think innovation and creativity now comes in so that we are able to reach this demographic, especially the Gen Z and the youth. And these strategies are the ones which we should now be looking at. So if we look at Uraya, now currently, yes, we still have the curriculum, but what we have now done is simplifying the curriculum, but digitalizing it, putting it a digital form, and also simplifying the message which is in the curriculum. Then you can disseminate it through social media. The information can be in our website and all in all other online platforms. So Gen Zs will not read that booklet, but if they have a simple message about a thematic area, and it is in the website, it is on the online, they also share it among themselves. So those are some of the strategic innovative that we are coming up with, having those digital materials which are simplified, short, and clear, and the Gen Zs can use them. They can find them in our website. They can also find them in the social media platform, and then they are able to disseminate all this. Then you have another alternative. We were talking about, in the past, we were used to forums and physical meeting.
Yeah.
So that one is also changing because Gen Zs have no time to participate in physical meeting, workshop, and all the others. So they like the platform like X Spaces, webinars, and all the others. So how do we now use these platforms, develop the simple message we were talking about, then they are able to engage on governance issues, events which are during that time. Like now we're talking about voter registration. We have X spaces where they discuss on the issue of voter registration, voter verification, and then they are able to do that. So if you put them in the X space, then they'll be able to participate and get civic education. And also Raya or Power can also do civic education in those X spaces, webinar, and all the other online platform.
Right.
Then we have another, I think Power is doing it so well, the activism. People are using art for civic education, songs, poems, spoken word. These are very attractive for youth. Those are the innovative aspects in the civic education ecosystem that we were talking about. What can we borrow from Power on use of art for civic education, and also encouraging public participation so that we're able to reach these other platform, other demography like the youth and also the Gen Zs. So it's for us to think about it, but we should also not forget our traditional civic education because there are others who are not found on those online platforms.
Yeah.
How do we reach the women who don't even have phones, or they have phones, but they can't engage in the X spaces, they can't engage online. But for creativity to use the youth, we have those use of art, we have online platforms, and also we just have forums where we go where the youths are. If it is a university, we go and engage. You can have campus tours, engage, provide for them a platform, and then they engage. We have we have an organization called Badili. You have been working with them. They have what they call glam session. They go to salons, engage with the ladies. So as they engage, they also do civic education. So innovation is very important. We look at each demography and come with a strategy and also platforms where they can be found and they can engage. Yeah, so you have to move with time.
Right. No, I love that. I love that. When let's go back to the retire project. Are there some of tangible maybe policies that have come out of the retire project, or any tangible impact? Maybe there has been something that has come out of the empowered citizen that has been impacted by the way that the retire project has been done. What are some of those impact stories that you might share with us from the at least 3 years that retire has been in operation across the many different implementing partners?
So Rutai has realized some results, I think, which are good. So first, we were doing a research which was looking at the status of access to information in our country, looking also at the county, what is the status. So we did the research. The research was published and also disseminated. And this research has gone so well because some counties have taken the recommendation and they have used the recommendation to improve on issue of access to information. So you find some counties have gone further and developed an access to information law for their county.
Yes.
I think there was one like Lamu, there is Garissa, Kisumu did one, and also the other counties. So that's the first step, because for access to information to be effective, there has to be a legal framework which facilitate the access to or dissemination of information. So if the counties were able to develop Access to Information Act, that is the first step. Then you find some county were also, from the recommendation, able to develop or upgrade their website, where they are now using the website to disseminate information to the citizens. So you find, those are the simple or small tangible results we can cite from that. It is also helping in ensuring that citizens are able to get information. So the counties have built those platforms where they can share information, improvement of website, looking at some are now using billboards. They have called billboards, where they post information. Others have set up information offices where citizens can be able to access information. So it's an area that we should keep on building on so that citizens are able to access information, even information on budget, information on projects, and all the others. So some counties have been able to use this recommendation and improve their access to information. So you find when citizens go for requests for information, they are able to get that. Some have even done simple things like developing a form, a request for information form. I think like Lamu did that, and citizens have been educated on how to use that form and then get information. So the first law is on the access to information. I think the project has contributed towards that. Then the second one is on the public participation. So public participation also law. There was one for Lamu, Garissa. There is one for Siaya, which had not been, the regulation had not been developed. But when the project members engaged, there was MWAP in Mombasa. There was Haki Yetu. I think Pawa was also engaged in the national public participation, bringing people together to give views on the national public participation. And you find some process have moved to ensure that we have that legal framework, which is the law. Because for effective public participation, to facilitate effective public participation, there has to be one key thing is to have law or framework which facilitates that. And if there is that legal framework, like we are working on a public participation and we have realized a milestone, that one helps in ensuring that there is effective public participation. But also, even before the laws come in, mobilizing citizens, the project has been able to mobilize citizens to participate in public participation in various counties, partnering with the county government. So when the issue of public participation, the citizens engage with the county, give their views, do the analysis, and this one increases public participation in the county. So that increased contribution is also very important. important from the project. Then also, I think Power did very well on the creative economy bill. So we contributed towards it, brought the partners together. They analyzed the bill and they gave their views on how the bill could be improved. And that creative economy bill is very important because we look at the youth. How can the youth also be able, the artists and all the other, able to generate some income through use of art while they are doing civic education? So you'll find it is twofold. They provide civic education, they mobilize citizens to participate in public participation, but also they gain income which they can use for themselves. So we look forward also to still engage with that bill or that law for it to come to a law so that our artists not just provide civic education, but also they gain from it and use it to improve their living standard and all the other. Then the other tangible achievement in the project Retire is on the issue of service delivery, because we engage a lot in social accountability, looking at health service, looking at education in various counties, and we have got report and results from various counties, like Power is working in Nakuru, and you find they worked on the issue of health with the county government, and you find some health facility are now able to get drugs, the supply of drugs due to engagement among the citizens, the project, and the cities and the duty bearers. There is that supply of drug. Some didn't have clean water. They now have clean water installed due to that engagement. Others were talking about there were few doctors, and you find after 3 years of the engagement, their doctors have been employed in some health facility due to engagement, project engagement between the citizens and the duty bearers. And this one is very effective because you find like the consortium member, if it is Power in Nakuru, they just provide the platform for the citizen to engage with the duty bearers on that specific issue, if it is health. And when they realize this result, it motivates them to cascade to other areas, even when Power is not there. And they do social accountability on other health facilities. So we have realized those results. If you look at like Siaya County, Kisumu County, the health facility didn't have water. Now there's water. There was no electricity. Now you find the electricity has been installed. And this one comes if the citizen engage even in the budget process. How do they engage effectively in the budget process so that these facilities, the budget has to be placed there. So you see, those are some of the aspects that the project has contributed. Health service delivery improvement, some improvement in water service delivery because of social accountability, some improvement in education, more so because we engage at the county level, the early childhood, the ECD. You find equipping of ECD. They now have teachers and all others. So there are some tangible results that we can quote, and this can be replicated to other areas. So if you have this small milestone and every organization is able to facilitate citizens to do this, the way we're talking about the ecosystem, and you go around every corner of Kenya and you see this small progress, then we'll be able to realize or see some tangible development, and people will be able to realize their constitutional aspiration.
Wow.
So those are some of the tangible, but also we are looking at increasing public participation. We are seeing the engagement, and that's where the innovative awareness creation was coming in. So the project has also, in the county we are working with in, like Nakuru, we have Power, Kilifi, we have Haki, Tana River. So people are able to come out, and you find that the number who are attending public participation sessions is increasing, and they are able to engage in this governance process. So those are the issues we want to see, and people now participate from an informed perspective on their issue and all the others. So those are some of the tangible outcomes that we can
Yeah. And we would interest you, our listeners, to know that Power Radio is also one of the tangible outcomes.
tangible outcome.
You know, many thanks to Uraia Trust because Power Radio exists.
How
as
has
a-
the radio has done a lot because
Yeah,
when we talk about
Yeah.
increased awareness and information dissemination,
Yes.
which then leads to public participation, Power has been able to reach the grassroots with information dissemination. Citizens are able to engage.
Yes.
Sometimes you even get duty bearers when they are called in these talk shows. When they are asked questions, when they go back, this is where we even realize some of the results we are talking about. When they are asked questions about health in Nakuru, how the health is being, the challenges which are there, they go back to the county and they are able to improve on those services. So Power Radio has really done a lot,
Yeah.
and also other social media platforms.
Amazing. I think we are due for a break right now. When we come back, we continue with our discussion. I really want us to talk about I know some of the challenges of civic education that has come up even in our conversations online is the issue of public participation forum fatigue, right? Where citizens feel like this is just information overload, but how does it translate into policy or something that is actionable? We will also get to talk a little bit about the new terminologies that are that are helping us reframe and rethink the way that civic education has been done. I know that during the Maandamano of 2024, a lot of young Kenyans were demanding for political education more than civic education. So you'll tell us what you think about that. But I can already see that some people are tuning in and they are actually asking some questions and some comments, which I think I will read when we get back from our break. So thank you so much to everybody who is tuning in. Start sending those questions in, and I know that Mr. Aloyce will be able to answer them from this short break. We'll be right back after this.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Sema hakuna cha bure, huo msemo tumeutafsiri kinyume. Hata shule kuingiza mtoto lazima utoe mchoto. Kupata simu ni bala, road license bei nafuu utanunua. Kupoteza ID ni mashaka, twarudisha jamhuri yetu nyuma. Kitu kidogo ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Ukitaka chai ewe ndugu, nenda Limuru. Hata nyumbani ukipatwa na majambazi, kupiga 99 masema sisi hatuna gari. Lete 5,000 ya petroli, zaidi ya utumishi. Mahakamani hela ndiyo haki, kwa 1,000 mshtakiwa ndiwe mshtaki. Utajiri huwa ushahidi, twarudisha jamhuri yetu nyuma. Jamani, nchi ya kitu kidogo ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Ukitaka soda ewe inspector, burudika na Fanta. Nchi ya kitu kidogo ni nchi ya watu wadogo. Ukitaka
Kenyatta, madawa zimeisha, mashiti za uzwa marikiti 100 kwa 100. Wafanyi kazi waenda miezi bila pesa, ni bahati ukitibiwa. Mzigo wetu unazidi kuwa mzito, watoto wanena mshahara wa 2500 ya vitabu na viatu na vyakula, nauliza na mbotela, huni ubana. Nchi ya kitu kidogo, ni nchi ya watu wadogo, nitaka chai ewe ndugu, nenda Limuru. Nchi ya kitu kidogo, ni nchi ya watu wadogo, nitaka chai ewe mama, nunua Ketepa. Kuja nami tuungane, twache kuzozana, watu wa upendo, hauna dui, hauna kifani kaka, takabata na savate.
Shino narudo kupatana kutitibu dirire,
twahitaji upendo ili tusonge mbele,
kutambura kwetu zichida hati narudo,
ukosefu wa upendo ulete dhiki ya jaya.
ukiumizwa hata mimi ninasikia uchungu, Tiende mbele, oh.
Kwenda shule, zunguka zunguka mbele. Ngoja nami twende pale, weongoza nikufuate.
Tiende mbele, mbele.
Kwenda shule, zunguka zunguka mbele.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Ooh, Bongo Venus, or Eric Wainaina there alongside the late Oliver Mtukudzi. Did you listen to some of his music?
Yeah.
Were you a fan of any of them or all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A great fan of Oliver.
Yeah.
And also Eric
Yeah.
Wainaina.
Uh-huh.
Very informative. I think I can call them great civic educators and activists.
Yes.
Because if you look at the message
Sure.
in their song, talking about issue of governance,
Yes.
issue of corruption,
Yeah.
issue of gender. And this shows how we can also use art and also music to undertake civic education and also facilitate citizens to engage in governance process.
That's
so
right.
they
The
are
power
good
of
pieces,
art.
the
Yeah.
power of art. Yeah.
Yes. Oliver Mtukudzi there. Shout out to the other Oliver from Uraya Trust. Mr. Oliver Waindi there, the executive director at Uraya Trust. But welcome back. This is the Power Morning Drive show. My name is Wanyoike. We are still here with the head of programs at Uraya Trust, Mr. Aloyce Moyi, and we are talking about civic education and everything in between. How do we ensure that we are fostering public participation when it comes to civic engagement in the country? I want us to take some comments and questions here from our audience, and thank you so much to everybody that is watching this morning. Great shout out to Daisy Anyanga, anasema great conversations. Asante sana. Thank you so much
Daisy.
for joining. We also have Esther Maina saying well said. I think she was responding to something that you had said earlier. And then we also have Super NMM1 anasema insightful interaction. And lastly, Daisy Anyanga again says public participation is really important for the demand of good service delivery. Ritai has done well. I have a question here from Miss Jo. Anasema, what do you portend is going to happen, especially now that we are going towards the electioneering period? I think her question has to do, it's a very long question, but I'll try to summarize it. So how do you envision the way that we go about civic education changing or shifting, especially to the lead up of the general election? You know, we have a lot of conversation about voter registration. How do we turn that civic education into political education, into voter education as well? Is it the same thing, or do we tie them all together? And why is it so important, especially right now? It's a very timely thing. So how do we go around those key elements?
Okay, so thank you for the question.
Yes.
So I also like to shout out first to our civic educators. I think they have given civic some feedback, but also shout out to Raia civic educators. They are all over the constituencies in Kenya, and they are doing very good work. And I think along the question, they are also part of people who contribute to this. So thank you, the civic educators who are across all the 47 counties in various constituencies, doing sustained civic education, engaging with citizens, providing information, also engaging with duty bearers and on issue of public participation and all the others. Not also forgetting our budget facilitators. I think they are also doing a lot of good work on issue of public finance management, analyzing the budget, engaging with the citizens, so that they are able to simplify it and ensure that citizens are able to engage in budget processes. Not forgetting our human rights defenders who are also across the country, doing a lot of work, human rights defenders and activists, simplifying the legal issues, taking actions, and also working with the community to ensure that. So this is the six ecosystem we're talking about. How do we build this strong ecosystem where we have civic educators, we have budget facilitators, we have the implementing partners, and we have citizens who are active across the country. Then we work together. So back to the question, I think we are in a delicate time, and also not just delicate, but a very important period in our country where we are heading towards election in 2027 general election. And as we were starting, we talk about the citizens' responsibility, rights and also responsibility. So if we answer the question, first is to ensure as citizens, are we undertaking our responsibility? We are seeing what is happening in Kenya. How do we ensure that as citizens, and citizens organize themselves more so in citizen groups? We have the CBOs, we have the religious groups in churches, in other religious sector, we have NGOs and all the others. How do we organize ourselves and provide that information so that citizens are able to engage in issue-based politics? So this is how we'll answer the question. How do we ensure that there is issue-based politics in Kenya? So when we talk about issue-based politics, as people of Kenya, we said Article 10 talks about sovereignty of the people. So the power belongs to the people. When we talk about what we are seeing happening along the question that we have been asked, how do we ensure that we monitor, we hold these leaders accountable so that they're able to engage on issue-based politics? So we should not be clapping for the leaders when they are insulting each other. We should not be participating in forums where leaders are insulting each other. We should not provide platform. When we talk about the citizen formations, we have our religious setting, a church. How do we allow a politician to go there, then get the microphone and start insulting each other? So as a leader, if you are a church leader, you are the ones in charge of that function. How do we manage those sessions so that the political leaders are able to talk about issues which affect the citizens? You have come to the church, people are praying. What issues should be addressed there, not insult? We are in a political rally. Why do we cheer those leaders? So civic education comes so vital for us during this period. So first, that the citizens are able to organize, come together as citizens group we were talking about. They discuss their issues, put them together, give priority, develop things like manifestos. And these manifestos are the things they are now able to use to engage with leaders. We are talking about a lot of challenges affecting our health service. So as a community, as this citizen group, how do we see that these issues can be addressed? We don't have drug in our hospital. We don't have enough doctors, not enough nurses. We don't have well-equipped maternity wings in our hospital. So these are the issues we should come together as community, document them, discuss them, and then put them in a manifesto or a memorandum. And when the leaders come, we are able to go and hold them accountable, even present to them, so that when they are talking, they come to visit us in our group, then we have something we are able to present. This is what will help us have issue-based politics when the citizens take charge. Then the other part also is to undertake civic education and civic awareness. How do we reach our youth? Yes, we know we have economic challenges. They are given some small token, then they bring the issue we are seeing now, like goons participating on those issues because they want that small money which is there. So how do we create information to these citizens and give them alternative on how they can generate some income? And this can also only happen if we have the system which are working. Citizens, the youth are able to get income. The governance processes, the system are working. And then youth are able to get some income and avoid those issues. So if the citizen is informed, the citizens are organized, they do clear organizing, so that when politicians come to a meeting and start insult, you ask them the correct question about health issues. We have challenges in education. We have challenges in security. Let them talk about those issues, the issue bits. So if I'm an aspirant, why do I come to a meeting to insult people? But I should have an agenda. Tell them, present to us your agenda. What will you do? Health services, the challenges we have. Education services, what we have. Issue of constituency development and all the other. So civic education is very important so that citizens get information. Then when we get to the other phase, I think it's also another time, important time, we're talking about coming election. And the event which is happening now is the voter registration. And more so to the unregistered voters, the youth, the Gen Zs who have not registered. So the issue here is to look as the civil society and other organizations, are the youth able to get IDs? Register for ID? Do they access and register for ID? And then the second, there are those who have registered for ID. Do we have information to remind them to go and collect their ID? So you find we should engage in the entire process. Let people register for ID. Let those who have registered and the IDs are out collect the IDs. And then currently we have the mass voter education, which is running currently, which is happening some in the institution of learning, in churches. So the kids are moving around and registration is taking place. So as civic educators, as civil society organization, we should be giving the youth this information on what is required to them. They need an ID, and then they need to go to the registration place where there is a kit, and then they register. And they have to know the information. You can register wherever you are, where the IBC has the kit. So just go with your ID, register, and then you select a polling station where you like to vote. And this information should also be clear, because when you select the place where you'll vote, when the voting time comes, that is where you'll go and vote. So if you select a polling station up country, know that during voting, you'll have to travel to up country. So selection is very important. Select a place, register and select a place where during that time in 2027, August, you'll be there and you'll be able to vote. Because we are seeing just registering and being registered as a voter is not the end. We have to go and vote. And also when voting, we have to make informed decision. Do we elect good leaders? And that is what we have to look currently through Pawa, other organization, doing the social audit or social vetting, where we are looking at leader. We are complaining a lot about insult and all the others. That is where the manifestos come in. We look at the leaders. What are they presenting in the forum? Do they have issues? And also articulate clearly on how they'll be able to address the issue. So this session, as we move towards election, is a social vetting and social accountability period. Look at the leaders, hold them accountable. Look at their agenda. Look at the manifesto that they are presenting. And then as citizens, we have to take charge of our country. Let's not leave it to the politicians so that they engage in insult, they promote violence and all the others. So when they come to our area, do we organize ourselves and then listen to them, the agenda, present to them our issues? So we have to change on how we do the politics, where the leaders come, shout at each other, shout at us, but talk about issue-based politics, where they put agenda on the table, we now analyze the agenda, engage, and that is what will change our political. It might seem hard, but if we organize ourselves as citizens and then take charge of our country, then there can be change. Yeah.
One key element of civic education is a contribution towards public discourse and narratives. And I think this is something that I have been able to observe largely in Kenya. You know, that whenever we have anything to do with political or civic education, it sort of comes with maybe some language that people can be able to understand, this kind of framing of narratives, so that we are able to transact in the conversations that need to happen. So how do we go about creating sustainable narratives that further foster and peddle some of the information that the citizens need to be able to have an understanding about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we come up with there's a lot of disinformation and misinformation going around. And this is where the issue of gangs come in, the issue of insulting each other, the issue of misinformation. So as civic educators or as organization, ours is to give the correct information. We have this, if it's about election, if it is about voter registration, then we have the laws which guide information. So for us is to pick the correct information and then simplify it and put the information correctly the way it is to the people so that they're able to do. So when we're talking about the first one, we're talking about simplifying the law which are there. So that's one area we look at, how we can counter this misinformation and disinformation. How do we simplify this information? And when a disinformation come out, then we are able to put the correct information using the channels which are there, the social media, counter that narrative which is wrong with the correct information in our forums, in our radio station, in the social media. So if it's about the voter registration, it's about other governance issues, how do we simplify that information? It's about budget. I think the Gen Zs last year did a very good simplified about the finance bill.
Yeah.
Very simple. And it was spreading along the social media, even in local languages. So that's how you also look at the distorted information and give the correct information. If you look at the finance bill, there was also a lot of disinformation about it. But the NCs were able to put the correct information in a very simple. You find the document is so long, but key, just having talking points, just having questions or frequent questions which are asked, and then giving the information which is there. So it's upon all of us as citizens, and if we engage as groups, mobilize, organize, capacity build each other, the analytical capacity, then we engage as citizens, then we'll be able to counter this information. So look at the information when it comes out, is it correct? Then us, as the civil society, the civic educators, who can access the correct information, we then counter it with the correct information when it's out there.
When you look at the current social and political climate that we find ourselves in, I'm very curious to hear from you. So what should be the next 10 years of how we go about civic education and public participation look like, you know, given the times that we currently find ourselves in? Or rather, anything that Uraia Trust is planning to do in the next maybe 2, 3, 5, 10 years? In as much as opening up the space for civic education, is there anything that we should look out for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as we said, the trend for civic education is changing, and we have to catch up with new, innovative, and new trends on how to undertake civic education. The time when we used to go for forums, workshops, and all the other things has ended. Now we are moving towards action. Citizens now have information, most of them, only the ones, but we have to continue giving information because also we have new voters, we have the young people who are coming in the governance space. So we keep giving information, but now how do we focus on giving information, but also ensuring that there is action? We call them civic action, where the citizens are able now to organize themselves. So the way forward is to look at how do we ensure that citizens are able to organize themselves organization of the citizen so that they're able to discuss issues, come up with actions like memorandum. They are able now to be the ones to call the duty bearers to come where they are and present the memorandum and follow on that. So that's where we want to move, not just providing information, but the citizen taking charge. If it is the issue of budget, they are able to start from the beginning, do the analysis using the tools which are there. And Gen Zs nowadays use things like AI. That's another area.
Yeah.
How do we use AI positively in civic education? Making that information simple, doing research, generating information, and then even using the AI tools to disseminate information. So that's another area which is coming in for information dissemination. But also the key issue now is engagement. How are citizens able to organize themselves and engage in these governance issues? Then the other area which is coming is the digital engagement. We are talking about the Gen Zs, the youth, and all the others. How do we positively use digital tools and this digital platform for civic education? So like Uraia, we are looking on how to innovatively use the digital platforms, things like X Spaces, things like the webinars. We have things like generating animations. Youths like the watching animation and all the others. How do we use that one for civic education so that there is that information and also there is those images which youth can relate with so that they're able to engage. Then we cannot also forget about the power of art.
Yeah.
That's another area. How do we use art, also activism, to undertake civic education? This is another area we have to look at. Promoting our artists, the songs, the poems, and also drawings also. They are called the ones which are drawn on the roadside.
Murals,
graffitis, and all the other. They send a lot of message.
Yeah.
So those are the area we should be looking at as the civic educators and also as human rights defenders so that we are able to disseminate civic education. So Raya is looking at organizations who come up with these new innovative approaches and strategies for enhancing civic education and also facilitating civic education so that they are able to support them and then they're able to provide civic education. But also we don't forget the duty bearer side. How do we engage constructively with duty bearers?
Yeah.
Engaging with them. So we have some youth who have even come up with some system, like the ones Gen Zs came with on analyzing the budget. How can we work with the government so that even the duty bearers in those departments, they are able to use those tools during the budgeting processes? Public participation tool. I think there was this lady who was arrested for Rose Njeri. I think that's a person you should not arrest. That's a person who should be employed by the government, even the parliament, so that they help. She can come up with those apps which will help them to get information and enhance public participation. So these innovative issues or tools are very important and we have to keep supporting them as Uraia and other organizations.
Speaking of government and even development partners, what has their role been, especially in bolstering and further advancing the work that you do?
So,
if there be any.
So they have very big roles, especially the government, because you find the government is the one which has been given the role. We elect them. Some are appointed to provide services. They're the ones who run the system. So they are the ones who make the laws, the policies, and all the others. So they have a very big role, and we look forward to a responsive government and also duty bearers. Because when we talk about civic education, if citizens are informed and they want to engage in governance processes, they are tracking health service delivery, they are tracking education service delivery and giving recommendation. They are registering as voters. Then the government officials are the ones who are to act on those actions or recommendation given by the citizens. So that responsiveness from government is very important. If you have responsive duty bearers, you have responsive government department, then you find things will move. The way we were talking about some impact we have realized in the retire project,
Yeah.
for them to be realized, like the one we are quoting about health, they have employed some nurses, doctors, or provided water after the citizens raised those issues. So you see, that's where the responsive government comes in handy. If you look at the issue of security, even when we are doing civic education, that atmosphere, which is peaceful, where citizens can sit, engage, give their views, come up with actions, is very important. And it's the government which provides that. They have the responsibility of budgets. They're the ones who oversight and manage the budget. The parliament should do the correct oversight role. The executive should do the correct implementation role. So if there is that effective and constructive engagement between civil society or the civic educator and the government agencies, so then you find that governance issues will be addressed and citizens will be able to realize their constitutional aspiration. So this is where we say, let's engage with the government agencies, and it starts from where we are saying we are currently. How do we ensure that we elect good leaders who listen to the citizens? That person who comes to campaign, the aspirant, when they come from our villages, and we know these people, some were head school teachers, some were teachers, some were doctors in our hospital, some were community leaders. So when we engage with them before we elect them, is this a person who, when he or she goes to that office, will allow you to go and present your issue in that office? Will that person be able to listen to you when he goes to that office? So those are the issues we are talking about, issue-based politics, which we should be watching before election. And when election times come, we elect wisely. They come from our family. They are our neighbors.
Yeah.
How do they treat their family members?
Correct.
What do they do if it's a man? That is the same thing that person will do when he comes the member of parliament or the MCA. If there was gender violence, he was a school headmaster or principal and was stealing our school funds, when it becomes the MCA, it will be the same. So those are the issues we should be watching. So government is very important, and we have to ask the government to provide that civic space, free civic space, where the citizens are able to engage constructively in governance issues and also in government. Then the development partners, these are our funders. They provide funds for our organization so that we are able to run the organization and provide civic education. But you find these are foreigners, and they are just assisting us. So yes, how do we engage with them? It's the tax from another country supporting our country. Our work.
Yeah.
So it's to engage with them to ensure that when we are working, even the themes that we want to address, the things that we want to support are issues which support the development of our country. So that open space where when they are developing their strategy papers, when they are developing their funding, it is aligned to the priorities of Kenyans also, so that they support the right thing.
Can we? Is it possible to get to a place where we start domestic funding? I mean, funding domestically our own problems, because as you've rightfully put it, that development partners are usually mostly foreigners, and I don't know how sustainable or effective that is, especially given the fact that they are not here with us to know some of the issues that we are dealing with on a daily basis. I mean, it's about time. How do we move away from foreign aid to domestic funding?
So that's the one area where we are saying the Kenyans should own civic education. And when we come on issue of fundraising, yes, we look at the donors, but also as Kenyans, how can we contribute to civic education? And this one we start with government. The law say very correctly, the public participation laws and all the others, even the constitution, the county government law, says that the key provider for civic education should be the government. So how do we engage with the government so that they also allocate funds for civic education and also for public participation? So the starting point should be our government to ensure that they meant the law. And during the budgeting process, they also allocate funds for civic education. That's why will be one avenue where they can also partner with the CSOs after allocating fund. Then the civil society organization can undertake civic education. And also Kenyans are generous. If Kenyans are asked to contribute and it's for a good cost, you'll find also if we come with that strategy where Kenyans are able to contribute to support the programs for civic education undertaken by the community. If you are in a group in a certain area, can we contribute to support civic education? There was this program called Kenya to Kenyan, and Kenyans were able to contribute, though it was to support hunger and all the others. But even civic education, if we frame it well and Kenyans see it relevant, then they'll be able to contribute. Even 5 bob, if they contribute, many of them will be able to support the civic education. Then we have Kenyans, high-profile Kenyans, who would like to support civic education. If we can reach out to them, they have foundations, others have organizations, then they'll be able to contribute also as donors to support civic education. We have the corporate sector. How do we build partnership? Like we have the nation media. They have the airtime. They provide airtime. Then we have organization sending people to provide civic education and all the others. We have the hotels we engage. We want a hall to undertake civic education. Or even our churches, we want a hall to undertake civic education. So it's not only contributing money, but also it can be done in kind. Then we get local funds to support civic education. So I think that's the strategy where currently people are moving. Even the donor fund is now dwindling and they are supporting very little. So how do we look at our local sources so that we are able to support civic education? Yeah.
What are your closing remarks?
So closing remark, I'm looking at the current state we are in, and I'm looking more so on the issue of voter registration.
Yeah.
And also looking at the coming general election next year. And for me, I have only 3 things. The first thing is to encourage the youth to register as voters. Go register for ID. Those who have not registered, go and pick. Who have not collected the ID, go and pick your ID and register as a voter, and then verify and ensure that you are registered voters. So also those who have registered, go and verify and register as a voter. So currently we have the mass voter registration window. Let's take this opportunity and then we register as voters. When the voting time comes, then let's vote. The second is let's engage on issue-based politics. We have been doing a lot of social vetting, social accountability. How do we organize ourselves as Kenya so that we avoid what we are seeing in our politics, dominated by politicians? Us is just to run, tear gas, and all the others. How do we manage this so that we don't have politicians fighting, but us controlling on how politics is taking place in Kenya? Issue-based politics. Let's have our manifesto as communities, as citizens group. These are the things that we use to undertake advocacy and also engage with the citizens. And also, let's monitor the current leaders. So we have a lot of politics, but we still have the government is still running. This current government is still running up to next year. How are our funds being utilized? Our projects ongoing. Some are stalled and all the others. Services, our health, education. We have to engage in social accountability as we go. So let's not be absorbed in so much politics that we forget on our daily life issues. Let's interact with these daily life issues. Our university students can't get funds. Some are going for mjengo because they can't pay fees. They can't go to class and all the others. So these are the things we should be monitoring and all the other. Some can't get access to health. So let's not look at what the politicians are doing, but do social accountability to ensure that the government is operating and they are using our money properly. So that's the second, social accountability and ensuring that we monitor the performance of government, and also we do social audits before we elect the leaders. And then the last part is to ensure that we have peaceful environment. So it's our responsibility also as Kenya. So more so the youth, let's not be used to cause violence because of small money. Yes, we have economic challenge, but if we look at what we are being given, it's very small, that is not worth what we are doing. How do we ensure that there is peaceful campaigns, there's peaceful engagement among our communities and all the areas? The issue of gang, we avoid it so that we have that peaceful country that will ensure that all of us enjoy rights and also realize our constitutional aspiration. Thank you.
That's a very powerful point to leave our conversation today. But I just want to say thank you so much for the amazing insights that you've been able to share with us. And I know that this will go on and on and on until tomorrow. So asanteni sana. Thank you for the amazing work that you're doing at Raia Trust, as Power 254 and Power Radio. It's such an honor to be part of your partnership ecosystem, towards an informed and empowered citizenry. Asante sana for making the time to speak to us on Power Radio. And there you have it, folks. That was our time with Mr. Aloyce Moyi. We have been in the meat and the bones of discussing everything about civic education, some of the amazing work that Raia Trust is doing, and what you as the Kenyan citizen can be able to do in order to plug into all the resources that are out there in ensuring that you are doing your due diligence to hold duty bearers accountable and ensuring that you are well aware of what is happening within the democracy and the governance spaces in this nation. And that leads us to the end of our conversation this morning on the Power Morning Drive show. A very big shout out to everybody that was able to tune in this morning. I see all of you, your comments, your questions. It is always such an honor having to do this with you. We meet again on Wednesday, and guess what? This Wednesday we are back with Radio Mtaani, and we are going to be heading out to Kajiado County. Conversations are still going on. Retire project is happening live on location, so do catch us then on Wednesday as we engage with the people of Kajiado County in matters to do with public participation and everything that we've been discussing this morning. And then on Thursday we are going to be at Kiamaiko as well for the Radio Mtaani as we engage with the citizens of Kiamaiko when it comes to issues to do with governance and the space that we find ourselves in. So until then, I will see you then, and have yourself a fantastic rest of your listening. Bye for now.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Jack on the beat.
They say drugs, I say on me. They say it's sad, I say it's funny. You in some crap, don't you dare call me, cause I know that I can get you out this shit. I know it's weird that I'm quite honest, but if I don't, then who's gonna know? When mama said, don't you play with fire, you should listen and just move out my way. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. I've got this feeling that someone's on me, yeah. Someone's on me. Ooh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Yeah, someone's on me. Oh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Cause I'm a drug drug, can you run me? And I'm a drug that I just cannot resist. Someone's on me, ooh, someone's on me. Once you begin, but there's no ending. Oh boy, it's like divine calling. And you don't know if you're up or falling. Right at the end of the tunnel, well, not here. The end is near, I feel it coming. This is between you and I only. When mama said, don't you play with fire, you should listen. It just provide my way. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. I've got this feeling that someone's on me. Someone's on me. Ooh, someone's on me, someone's on me. Yeah, someone's on me. Oh, someone's on me, someone's on me. 'Cause I'm a drug, can you run me? And I'm a drug that you just cannot resist. Someone's on me, someone's on me. Someone's on me. Someone's on me. Yeah. And I'm a drug that you just cannot resist. Someone's on me.